Hello, my name is Allison Rowe, and one question that I have for all of you watching today is if any of you are interested in historical cases that are actually relevant to modern society. So the topic that I will be discussing with all of you today involves the murder trial of Niccolo Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti. And here's a picture of the two men. This is Bartolomeo and this is Niccolo. And they were both Italian immigrants, and they were anarchists as well. And if you're unsure or unaware of what an anarchist is, I found a definition of it from Merriam-Webster.com, and they had defined an anarchist as a person who believes in, advocates, or promotes anarchism or anarchy, especially one who uses violent means to overthrow the established order. So today I will just be talking to you all about the trial and the crime that has taken place as well. So the first thing that I will talk to you all about today is the crime that had taken place. So the crime had taken place in New England, and it had occurred with the shooting and murders of two men named Fred Parmentier and Alessandro Berardelli. And this crime had taken place outside of the Slater and Morrill Shoe Factory on April 15th of 1920. And Fred Parmentier and Alessandro Berardelli had actually both been shot and murdered due to a payroll robbery. So after they had been shot and murdered, they had gotten stolen from them $15,776.51. After Parmentier and Berardelli had been shot and murdered, the car that had taken the two robbers had sped off, and it was later found a few days after and abandoned in the woods. So now I will talk to you all about the first suspect that was named for this case. The first suspect was Mario Budo, and he was a well-known anarchist in Massachusetts, and he was an Italian-American immigrant as well. So Budo had been named suspect for this case due to evidence that was found in the car, and after being named suspect, he had fled back to Italy. So Sacco and Vanzetti had both been made suspects after Mario had fled. So Sacco and Vanzetti had both been made suspects because they had been both acquaintances of Mario, just because they had both been acquaintances due to the fact that they were anarchists as well as Italian immigrants as well. So when Sacco was arrested, he was actually found to have a .32 caliber gun on him, and this was later found to be the murder weapon for this trial. Now I'm going to speak to you all about the trial that had taken place of Niccolo Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti. So the trial had started on May 21st of 1921, and throughout this trial, both the judge and the jury had been biased due to their reputation of Sacco and Vanzetti being well-known anarchists. And according to an article by Felix Frankfurter titled "The Case of Sacco and Vanzetti," although the arguments brought against them were mostly disproven in court, the fact that the two men were known radicals and that their trial took place during the height of the Red Scare prejudiced the judge and the jury against them. So Sacco and Vanzetti were both at a disadvantage as well because they had both spoken little to no English, and according to an article written by Felix Frankfurter titled "The Case of Sacco and Vanzetti," as I had previously stated from before, the trial had lasted nearly 7 weeks, and on July 14th of 1921, Sacco and Vanzetti were both found guilty of murder in the first degree. So both Sacco and Vanzetti had been sentenced to death, and they were executed in August of 1927. So even if Sacco and Vanzetti may have committed the crime, both the men had received unfair and unjust treatment throughout their trial, due to their status as Italian Americans as well as the fact that they were both anarchists. So as I previously stated, they had received unfair treatment. This trial had taken place during the height of the Red Scare, as I had previously stated before, so many people were frightened of anarchists. If you're unaware of what the Red Scare was, I had found a definition from dictionary.com, and they had defined it as the rounding up and deportation of several hundred immigrants of radical political views by the federal government in 1919 and 1920. This scare was caused by fears of subversion by communists in the United States after the Russian Revolution. So both Sacco and Vanzetti had used translators as well throughout the trial due to their inability to speak proper English, and this was seen as very bad for the judge and jury as well. They had been biased towards them because of that as well. So according to an article titled "Sacco and Vanzetti Proclamation" from mass.gov, it states that on August 23rd of 1977, the 50th anniversary of the executions of Sacco and Vanzetti, Massachusetts Governor Michael S. Dukakis issued a proclamation declaring the date Niccolo Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti Memorial Day. After his review of the case, had persuaded him that Sacco and Vanzetti had not received a fair trial, Governor Dukakis had called upon all to reflect upon these tragic events and to draw from their historical lessons that resolve to prevent the forces of intolerance, fear, and hatred from ever again uniting to overcome the rationality, wisdom, and fairness to which our legal system aspires. So, throughout this presentation, I have discussed the crime that had been committed, the trial that had occurred, as well as Mario Puda, who was a suspect as well. So, this historical case is related to modern times because to this day there's unfair and unjust treatment towards immigrants, especially regarding in the justice system. So, I decided to speak about this today just because it is still relevant to modern times. Even if someone is guilty of a case, they should still receive a fair trial as well as a fair case as well, according to our justice system. So, thank you all for watching this. I really appreciate it.